Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Shonen and Chill, hosted by Zenrotto and Asaratha.
It's true. I'm still here.
Still
I'm gonna
here.
say that every week.
Still here. I don't know how. Yeah, I don't even know. His contract is expired already, actually. He's just still showing
I,
up.
every single week, I'm gonna say I'm still here, and then one time I'm just not gonna be here.
Um, I don't remember if you watched the old episodes of the show, like when Ocean Man went out for a day, and so I made a soundboard of only his
I
voice.
do.
Or he
I did.
technically he
Yes,
made that, but I used it. We'll just do
it
that.
was great. Yeah, and you know what? Discord has built-in soundboard now.
Well, yeah. See, I don't even have to. When I did that one, I had to do it out of Google Drive and click the play button every time I wanted to play something.
That's actually brutal. What the hell?
Yeah, it was something else. But all right.
Yeah.
That's not even anime or manga news. Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah, the big one is Black Clover moving into Jump Giga.
Um, I see a lot of people saying that that's where manga go to die, and my main
Well,
contention with that is that Black Clover was already ending to begin with,
yeah,
right?
I mean, on one hand, you're correct, sort of, but also it's going there intentionally to die there because
Yeah.
it wants to end. So, like,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
And people are like, "Oh, now it's gonna end in like 3 or 4 chapters." That's a lot of fucking pages. That's like
Yeah, in Jump Giga, that's
that's
a
like
crazy
200
amount of
pages.
pages. Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of
Um,
chapters, actually. That's a good thing.
yeah, I've seen a lot of people like, ah, ha, ha, it got canceled, but like, no, it didn't. He
No.
even put out a little
Um.
statement that was like, I'm doing this because I
Yeah.
can't release the product that I want to release on the schedule that I'm on, and
Yeah.
it's kind of similar to like if you look back at, which is funny because I'm pretty sure these are both like in some way Black Clover inspirations. 7 Black Clover fans watch this, so they might get mad at me if I'm wrong. But both Togashi and Kubo kind of had a similar issue toward the end, where like with Yu Yu Hakusho with Togashi, he couldn't make what he wanted. Like there was too much
Yeah.
of them trying to like tell him what to do, so he stopped, and his health was getting in the way. And
Mhm.
same with Kubo, is he felt like he couldn't release the product that he wanted, so he just kind of ended it. And if you ask me, this is a much better way to go about the ending than just dropping
Very
everything.
much. Yeah.
Getting to
Um.
do exactly what you want.
Some people have said, "Oh, well, it's really gonna kill the hype for chapters," and I could see that, but also it's one of those things where like I feel like it just the good outweighs the bad here.
Yeah, yeah,
Um.
I do see that a little bit, but then also you got to think about like they might be lunatics, but there are still Boruto fans that go crazy, and that shit was like
That's true.
monthly up to
That's true. Um. And I mean, like, I don't know, 50 pages every 3 months. It can be a lot to talk about,
yeah. I
especially in a
mean that's
final
a
arc.
lot of stuff.
So I feel like I don't think it'll be as bad as people are making it out to be. I could definitely see the disappointment in terms of the weekly culture of like like having stuff to talk about. Um,
Yeah, like the water cooler, whatever the modern
yeah,
version of that is. The
yeah,
Twitter water cooler culture of being able to talk, and you won't get the weekly cliffhanger like, oh my God, what's gonna happen next
yeah.
kind of thing as much. But I
But
think small price to pay for him being able to make
yes,
exactly what he wants the way that he wants it, in my opinion.
he gets to live his life,
Yeah,
which
right.
is
He
huge.
gets to be a human being for a little
Yeah,
while instead of just a mangaka.
I think some people forget that he has like an actual wife and kids. So he's got family to hang out with.
Don't
He's
say
got
that, or they're gonna
shit.
stop reading it, because you know how they are.
Oh, oh, sorry. He is single and ready to fuck. Yeah, sorry. My bad. I don't got internet, so I don't know.
Yeah, you're just doing this purely through an old phone line.
I got like I got like a really big can and a really long fucking line going straight to your house.
Got the floss can. So,
All right,
and
I guess
kind
we
of
can talk about manga.
tangentially, yeah, well,
Oh,
tangentially related to this, at what point do you think that the Shonen Jump executives should just be like, Hori, I need you to take like 3 weeks and
they
just
should
sit
just
out?
lock him in a cell because I don't think he's gonna
Seriously,
stop.
like at some point, it's like literally the fucking Dark Deku arc where they're like, you gotta take it easy, and he's like, he's sitting there drawing this manga all ragged ass looking, like,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
you need to calm down, man. 7 pages is crazy.
So like with the month break that Oda got, and then I know that Gege was able to take a pretty long
It
break, and
was, I
then
think, 3 weeks to a month. Yeah.
Tabata took a 3 month break at some point, didn't he?
Yep. Before starting the final arc, he was out for like a long time.
So like I don't think that to some extent the culture itself is bred by Weekly Shonen Jump, of course, but at this point this is Horikoshi.
Yeah,
Horikoshi
yeah.
is
I mean,
not wanting to. Yeah.
you can't undercut the fact that like they're expected to work this way, right? Like that's just how it
Yes.
is.
Yes.
But the number of modern mangaka who have said no, I'm gonna relax for at
Hmm.
least a little bit of my life.
Hmm.
At some point, it has to just be on Horikoshi. I know he has like the PTSD or whatever from getting canceled twice in the past, but at this point, it it feels almost crazy to think that My Hero Academia would get canceled if you took time off. That
There is
everyone
no
else is
shot,
getting. There's
dude.
impossible.
Ruri Dragon is not getting canceled,
Yeah,
and
Ruri
it's been
Dragon is on
gone for like a year.
indefinite hiatus. Like whenever they're back, they're back.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy. Like I understand you got canceled twice in the past. You're very stressed about that because the job means a
Yeah.
lot to you. But at this point, like what are we, maybe a year if that from the conclusion of this?
Almost at volume 40.
Yeah, there's no way they're gonna be like, oh, you want some time off? Okay, you're fired on like one of their biggest leading properties, like monetarily.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen, bro.
Yeah. Um. Maybe you could make an argument that they're running Hori ragged so that he keeps dropping shitty chapters that are like 7 pages long, so that MHA technically gets extended. You know what I mean? But I don't think they're that. I mean, maybe they could be that cartoonishly evil, but I don't
I
know.
I would never discount the cartoonish evil of like
Yeah.
Shueisha. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that feels a little like at some point you could just put your foot down and be like, bro, I need to eat food that didn't come
Yeah.
out of a microwavable tin just for once in my life.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
It is, dude. The man's struggling clearly. Like seven
It's
pages
not
is,
good.
and if you go back and count like how many full length pages he's had, even in like the last year, is not very many.
It's not many, no.
The dude's hurting.
Yeah, it's
And this
always
isn't
sad.
to like make fun of him. Like I'm not saying, oh, haha,
No,
he can't draw these pages. It's like, dude,
no,
you
we're
are
saying this out
perishing
of
right now.
yeah, we're saying this out of genuine concern because he is actually killing himself.
Yeah, like, dude, I can't help but look at Togashi every time the conversation of Horikoshi comes up, and it's like, how
Yeah.
much horrible damage are you doing to your body right now?
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
because you look at who was it that leaked their schedule? Was it Oda?
I know a mangaka leaked their schedule quite some time ago. It wasn't Oda. It was an author that I don't remember. I specifically remember this because I used it for a video that I made.
Someone leaked it, and it was like they got 3 hours of time in a week. That was their
Yes.
own time, which is
Yes.
insane. That I would have lost it years ago.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I have it right here. On Monday they got 2 hours of sleep, and then
Jesus.
they storyboarded from midnight to 5 a.m. Slept 2 hours, and then storyboard. Sorry, they had breakfast and then storyboarded on into Tuesday morning. Had an editor meeting and then slept from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Good God, dude. This is like
Yeah.
that's nightmarish, like horrific.
Yes. It's not right. It's
No.
fucked up.
And we're really going into a tangent for the intro of this section. Sorry, everybody, the 10-minute intro. Um, did you see that YouTube video that came out recently that was like how Western comics need to learn from manga's example, yada yada?
I saw the thumbnail, but I don't really watch much YouTube, so I
I
didn't see it.
haven't I didn't watch it either. I just saw a discourse around it on Twitter, so I'm gonna complain about something I haven't seen. Um, there was a really good reply to that comment that was essentially, people say this a lot, but I have yet to see anyone suggest a way in which any industry could copy Japanese manga without the horrific like abuse of the creators within it. Like it's not sustainable otherwise.
I feel
And
like I
that's
feel
kind of
like
true.
I feel like for a lot of people, unfortunately, the exploitation of passionate people, is just like like a conclusion that they've already come to.
That you just have to have. Yeah. Well, you
Yeah.
kind of even like, this is a dumb comparison, but like you see it with like content creators and shit too, where someone's like, "Hey, it sucks that I didn't get paid this month because 60% of my viewers on here have ad block," and they're like, "Well, you should just be doing it because you like it. You shouldn't be trying
Yeah.
to get
No,
money
I
from it."
agree.
Like,
I think it's a good comparison. I mean, obviously, a lot of people are like, haha, content creation is not a real job, etc. But
right?
I've seen some people say the same thing about manga authors as well in my comment section, actually.
That's insane.
Yeah, I've seen people. I actually got a comment I think last week that was like, they should just draw as a hobby and then go work a real job. It's like, okay, dude.
Whatever, bro. Yeah. All right. All right. Yeah, go run the checkout counter at Walmart and then just upload your shit to Webtoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a much better lifestyle, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, it's just it's such a we talk about it all the time, especially on this show because it's becoming harder and harder not to talk about it. When you've got renowned authors dropping seven
yeah.
pages after a break because
Seven
they just
pages.
can't.
7 pages might be like the worst thing I've seen from him. Right? I don't think he's
I
dropped
don't
anything.
think it's
I don't. I
ever
don't think
been.
I've seen anyone drop any less than that.
No, not that I can think of. I'm sure someone in the comments will be like, ah, Scribblo
Actually, you
fuckface
forgot.
from
Yeah.
yeah, dropped a 5 pager once. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
but that
Back in
I know of.
1987,
Yeah, yeah.
1987, Glup Shido dropped a 3-page chapter.
The fucking mangaka for Captain Tsubasa dropped a 5 pager in 1974. Like, okay, but to my knowledge, not particularly.
Yes. 7 pages is very bad.
Yes, he's had a few that are like 10, 11. I think
Yeah.
there might have been a 9 in there
I think so. I
recently
think
because I
so.
remember even going like, holy shit, that was a single digit page
Yeah.
chapter. And now we're down to 7, which is, at what point do we hit like the 4 page week? You know,
Oh
like,
my god, dude. I mean, I'll save the rest of my commentary about this for the actual MHA section, but Jesus Christ, man, it's
yeah,
bad.
we're in the shitter here. All right, so let's roll into top threes. I need to pull my app back up so I can remember what my top three was because I
All
don't
right.
remember. So you can go ahead.
Okay, so my third is Martial Master Asumi. I actually did consider putting Tenmaku here this week.
Okay,
Um, my number two is Sakamoto, and my number one is Undead Unluck.
okay, I like that. I think my number three is also Martial Master. I think my number two is Kill Blue, and then I think my number one is Undead Unluck.
Let's go, dude.
Yeah, not pretty close. We've been kind
Yeah,
of gelling, a little bit of difference here and there, but pretty close. There
yeah,
were a couple that I also considered. I really liked Blue Box this week.
yeah. It was
I
fine.
really
I
wasn't
enjoyed
huge
it.
on a couple other ones. We'll talk about them when we get there. And you're gonna be very mad at me, but I kind of liked New Age Exorcist this week.
Yeah, I
Uh,
saw your tweet about it, and then I was like, damn, okay, I'm actually looking forward to reading it. Then I read it, and I was like, well, that was a chapter.
yeah, well, for New Age Exorcist, that's pretty good. When that's the
Yeah,
only
fair,
reaction that
fair.
you get.
Yeah, fair. Well, I
Uh,
had some more negative reactions, but I mean, I don't think you'll be surprised by them.
okay, that's fair. So we'll jump in. First one on the list is actually Tenmaku.
This chapter really felt like a return to what I enjoyed about Tenmaku initially. It really felt like it was about the art of just creation, right? Um, I liked budging the idea of the film just a little bit to accommodate the real life experiences of the actor to bring out their best. And we finally have a single point of tension after 18 chapters, and hopefully that can
Yeah,
revive it a
there's
little bit.
finally some actual conflict going on.
Yeah, yeah. I liked it. I thought it was a very good chapter. Um, especially coming off the heels of 17 chapters of almost nothing.
Yeah, I kind of agree that this felt like they were kind of returning to celebrate the art of making art,
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
there's something unique that doesn't just go into like the finished product, but the creation process of it as well. Like is something
Hmm.
that I think should be celebrated more often than it is. I really like that about this chapter. I kind of still have the same issue where it just feels like we have to get a glam shot of this girl at least like 3 chapters, like just to get
uh,
by. But I did really like the whole point too of the ghost guy whose name I don't fucking remember, being like, hey, it's time for you to step up and make some changes to this instead of just basically
yeah.
aping off of my thing that I wrote the whole time,
Hmm.
which
Hmm.
I thought was cool. The mom coming back early feels a little like, but again, it's nice to actually have conflict.
Yeah,
So
it's a desperately needed
it's
injection
it's
of
thin
yeah,
conflict, but it is conflict, so I will take it. And
needed
it's
it
nice. It's like
desperately.
it's well paced, kind of coming off the end of like this big high. Everyone's like, we did it.
Yeah,
We're all feeling great.
yeah.
And then we kind of walk into some shit. Like that feels kind of true to life. Everyone's had that shit happen to them a few times, where everything feels
Hmm.
great and you turn a corner and up, it's all gone to shit immediately. but it's still kind of in that area for me where it's like Tenmaku came out this week, you know.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm hopeful that things will improve finally.
So one thing I did want to mention in this, because you kind of mentioned that this felt like going back to when it was,
Hmm.
I mean, good to be a little mean,
Yeah,
to when it was
yeah,
good. And we got a comment last week when we were talking about cancellations. We were talking about Red Hood, and we were talking about, well, we
right.
don't really know why everyone was like super up in arms over Red Hood because it didn't really move either of us, I suppose.
Yeah.
And we got a really nice detailed comment that was basically a lot of points that led to like people feeling that the editorial staff was like fucking it up to try to make it
Okay.
more popular, like to try to basically be like you're setting this up, but it's not appealing to what we think the demographic is, so we want you to do
Uh-huh.
this, that, and this instead. Um, and mentioning that Tenmaku leaning into what made it good to begin with instead of all the stupid shit kind of made me think of like I wonder how often that happens in these, especially these kind of young ones, where they're like, "This
Yeah,
is the story
I,
that I
f-
want to tell," and then the editor's like, "Hey, this is super boring. Have the girl in a bikini jump into the ocean like 3 times." You know?
I feel like it's definitely more plausible with newer series. I remember a lot of people were coping, um, with like Act 3 MHA that it was all the editor's fault and stuff.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah. I think that was
yeah,
dramatic, but
so I do think there is a chance it is cope, but for a newer series, I do think it's also not impossible for an editor to derail it.
yeah. Well, I mean, you think back to like Naruto, where the early portions of Naruto were basically written by the editor, like.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
In the original Naruto, there was no Kurama. He was the nine-tailed fox that just shapeshifted into a person. Um,
Hmm.
there was no Sasuke, and the editor was like, "Bro, you need something in like to do." So a lot of like big changes from Naruto came around that made it so
Hmm.
popular were because of an editor. So
Hmm.
makes you wonder with these newer series, like how
Yeah,
much of
I
their initial identity is created by that process, you know?
I also do. I also think that editors are kind of used as a crutch
Oh,
in
for
terms
sure.
of like
Oh, for sure.
discussion about series. Because, like you just pointed out with the Naruto thing, it's very possible for an editor to have a very positive influence on the series. Um, and I do believe um, MHA's first editor had a law. He put a lot of work into the first chapter with Hori. So uh, I don't think editors get the recognition they deserve when things turn out well, but they always get
They get the
they
shit
always
on when it goes bad. Yeah.
yeah, they always get scapegoated when things go bad. When in reality, we just don't know.
Yeah, we really don't know because they're pretty behind the scenes when it comes to this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it is an interesting thought about how how the creative process of manga itself kind of pans out because like we're talking about
Yeah.
Tenmaku being about that sort of process. It's interesting to
Yeah.
think about how much that
I
could have been him because you kind of look at Undead Unluck too, where the first
Mhm.
7 chapters it's like sexual assault Gunner manga. And then after volume 1, it's that never comes back again, and it's like almost a completely
Yeah.
different story. It's weird, you know.
Yeah. I remember there was this one account from a mangaka I read. I don't know if this was Shueisha or Jump because they didn't want to specify who they were, but they talked about how every time that they would submit like the manuscripts or the storyboard or whatever, they would get like relentlessly mocked by their editor.
That's
And
crazy.
then yeah, and they also said that there were multiple other people who worked for this publishing company who had that editor who had the same exact experience with that editor.
That,
So
that's
like
pretty
it's
rough. Like,
very
holy shit.
it's very possible. Um but we'll never know, probably.
Yeah, well, unlikely that we will ever know, but it's interesting to think about, especially because you should go
Mhm.
back and read that comment if you get time. It was pretty good. There's a lot of like
All right.
detailed talking about like the way that Grimm's character sheet was edited strangely like later on when she got like redesigned or something. It's a lot of stuff. It was interesting.
Mm.
But next up we have got Nue's Exorcist.
I will say that I thought it was cool how much planning was going into the fight on both sides.
Yes, I thought that bit was really cool. I'm a sucker for moments where, she threw her hand in front of the thing and he couldn't do it, right?
Yeah,
Like he couldn't cut her hand off. I'm
yeah.
a sucker for that kind of thing. Um,
Oh, you see it? When I read that part, I was like, I bet this is what Zen liked. I knew it.
it is. It totally is.
I'm finally cracking the code, dude.
It totally is. What I didn't like is the action drawing kind of sucks. Like, If you
That's
remember
fair.
our
Yeah.
Sakamoto discussion where I talked about like it feels like a lot of, manga will just be like, here's a bunch of still images of people getting hit.
Yeah.
Boy, that was all this was.
Yeah.
Like page 5, it's just her eye and then he's getting hit. And then, there was another one. Page 9. Page 8 to page 9. He like ducks a little bit and then the next panel is just him getting punched. And it's like, man, I would
Oh,
love
I see.
there to
Yeah.
be some more to this, some more meat to this fight that's not
Yeah.
just dudes getting hit. I know
That's
that
fair.
sounds
Yeah.
silly because I'm saying that, but go back and watch the I'm not doing it again. Go back and watch the Sakamoto episode
Let's
if you
let's
wanna
just get a
know.
brief let's get a brief transcript of what we said in that discussion. Let's just repeat it like word for word.
Yeah, just reread the whole thing. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't remember what episode it is. Sakamoto's on the thumbnail. It's pretty recent. Go
Yeah.
watch the
Yeah.
Sakamoto section of that if you want me to hear us talk about what goes into making a good action scene. This wasn't really that, but I did really like the plan in the beginning, especially because I like the whole idea of, hey, you are straight up not going to beat this person in a fight. So
Hmm.
you got to be a sneaky little guy to do it.
Hmm.
Um, I I get the sinking feeling he is no longer going to be a sneaky little guy and he's gonna just like anime hero power his way through this somehow.
Probably.
He's gonna get cranky and he's gonna get real mad and he's gonna shoot like a Getsuga Tensho or whatever the fuck his power is at these birds and the birds are all gonna die. That's my sad assumption. But I really liked going into it thinking he would have to be sneaky instead of
Yeah.
just being the anime main character.
Um, the way that she kept him quiet, I cringed so hard, dude.
I don't even remember that. Did I skip that? Did
Look
I
at page
black out?
14. Look at page 14.
Oh, when she jumps on top of him. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I cringed so hard. And
yeah.
there's like this manga just has so many like fan service shots that like I scroll over with my eyes and I'm like, okay.
It didn't even occur to me that she was literally sitting on his face. I thought
Yeah.
that she just tackled him when I read it. Okay,
See that?
that's pretty
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Also, why does she need to be over his mouth? Nothing about his
Um,
power is related to that, right?
wait a minute.
I don't recall. Like, I'm looking at it now, and I don't see anything that says like I have to stop him from talking.
No, it was literally just to stop him from moving.
Yeah, it was just to pin
So,
him down. So did she
yeah.
really have to literally be like riding his face?
Uh, that's what
Could
the
just
that's
be
what the
sitting on
author
his
wanted, man.
chest, right?
The author had to squeeze hog somehow, man.
Yeah, I guess he had to like that's how he copes with this work schedule, you know? He's got to release the tension in between there. Really could have just been sitting on his chest. Probably would have made more sense to sit on his chest because
Yeah.
then you could pin his arms too,
Yeah.
which are literally the thing that he needs. And it doesn't even work. He just sits up. So, you
uh,
know,
yeah.
bad call. But I still like the bit that he couldn't cut her hand off. I'm a sucker for that stuff.
Yeah. We'll see it. Um, I'm hesitant to say this was a good chapter until I see what comes after, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm a little more gooned out now that that I realized that she was riding his mouth for a bit there, but it's fine.
Yeah, sorry, bro. I didn't mean to
Uh,
point that out.
I
I
was
should have.
living in blissful ignorance, thinking she was just sitting on top of his chest, pinning him to the ground.
I should
Did
have
not
just let you
realize.
rock.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, how could you do that to me?
Sorry, man.
All right. Next up is Ichinose yada yada deadly sins. Boy, this sure exists.
Man, it turns out when this manga isn't doing constant plot twists and cliffhangers, it's actually fine.
it's I just kind of don't like.
I don't care that much personally, but
Yeah,
like,
I don't care. That sounds mean. I don't give a shit about what's happening.
I don't really care that much. But like, the thing is, like, it was like legible. I could actually
Yes,
understand what was
I
happening.
could follow it from the first to the last
Yeah,
page. Yes,
yeah.
correct. But
Um,
also like, why did we spend these past few chapters or whatever getting set up with like, oh man, this kid is such a douche. That's the conflict now. But now they're like, no, it's not the conflict at all.
I
Actually,
don't know, man.
actually, the conflict
Maybe,
is that you have to go to help your parents. Like what?
yeah. I don't know. I think it was more just to demonstrate that like you can run from your problems, and you'll just end up finding more.
Yeah,
Maybe.
you'll just stumble
Um,
into more problems if you don't.
yeah.
It's just
I thought the chapter was okay. I was ready to come into this week with a bit where you say Ichinose, and I'm just like, you want to move on to the next one? but but unfortunately, the chapter was actually I could actually read it, so I couldn't do that
yeah,
one.
it was actually pretty decent.
Yeah,
All right, but I also have nothing to say about it. So
yeah, I don't. Yeah, yeah. You want to move on to the next one?
yeah. All right, the next one is Fabricant 100.
You want to move on to the next? No, I'm just kidding. Got to. It's not looking good, Chief.
It ain't looking good, is it? It's looking real bad, actually.
So at first I was very skeptical with the idea of Ashibi being able to like fight shit like that because he was like actually kind of kicking ass.
Yeah, he kind of fucked
Uh,
that guy up.
which was something I never wanted him to do because you know that's not the kind of character I think he is. Um, but then it was like, oh look, he's fucked up actually, and then it was like, oh sweet, and then it was like, oh it's because he can't heal anymore. He can
Yeah,
heal never
he's
again.
already lost his powers.
And then I was like, oh man, that's not good.
hmm Yeah, I was kind of
uh,
like, oh, okay, there's something about maybe her fire that's like special that's gonna take him longer to heal or something.
yeah,
No, turns out he just cannot heal anymore.
really roller coaster of emotions this chapter where
Yeah, I mean he
it,
got
it
his
was
power,
the
he made a
yeah
special move, and then he lost his powers.
it was the we're so back it's Jover line
Yeah,
going up and down this chapter.
it really is. Um,
uh
it's totally over, by the way. This has
yeah, no, this is
three
it.
three or
Yeah,
four more weeks maybe in it.
I wouldn't be
Um,
surprised if we get the announcement that it's ending in 3 chapters like today when
yeah,
the
like
Shonen Jump
any
leaks come out.
anytime I see like Fabricate 100 is ending in whatever episode, I'll be like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course it is. Of
Yeah,
course it is.
yeah.
There is nothing left here. Fabricant 100 is like, how do you think this ends now? Do you think it's that she has a moment of like, actually, I like this kid? Or do you think
I
that she dies?
guess I don't know, man.
Eh,
I don't care.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, it's so over, dude. It's so over.
Fabricate 100 had a very good 30 chapters. It's a shame about the
Fabricant
rest.
34.
Fabricant 34, dude. This is when I knew it was really over. I mean,
Man.
there's not even much to talk about. It's just
No,
like,
there's nothing to really talk about because it's so obviously a setup for an
yeah,
ending, right? Like
yeah.
there's no other way to really interpret this because there was a lot of copium you could cling to with like, oh, number one might get away for the 50th time. Or
Yeah.
like, oh, just because they got rid of number one, does they still have to get the other ones that are out there or whatever? Or like, oh, number
Hmm.
one could have been like, aha, I made a bunch more and released them out into the world or whatever.
Hmm.
But him losing his powers and then number 100 being like, ew, your body is icky is like that. That's it. Game over, bro. Game over. That was the whole premise of the series.
Yeah.
Game over.
I don't know, man. Like, maybe my disappointment is stopping me from being able to, like, actually diagnose what's happening in this chapter. Like, one thing you could say is that she doesn't feel anger about his body being ruined. She doesn't feel anything, which is maybe a little bit different.
Yeah,
Secondly,
I
there's that
guess
one
she
shot.
probably would have like killed him back in the day because he
Yeah,
was useless, right?
there's that one shot in page 19 where there's like a book in her like waistband.
Yeah, that's the book that she was reading the whole time, right?
Was it?
I thought so. Isn't that the book that she got from the people?
Maybe. Maybe yeah. Um, I don't know, man.
She's
This
gonna
is
she's gonna get number one to sew a new arm onto him to replace his fucked up arm, and then he's gonna become what he hates the most, and then that's how it's gonna
oh man. Why would you say that?
end.
I guess the last thing I could say about it is that that panel on page 13 looks pretty nice with like Fabricate 100's like arms kind of out.
Oh yeah, and he's like
Yeah.
hugging her with the fire. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. That's a cool panel. I don't know, dude. It's Jover.
It's
Honestly,
it's so over.
weekly Shonen Jump this week wasn't really exciting to begin with, to be honest with you. But this was really it's
Those
kicking the
the
balls.
yeah, this was the big letdown. I feel like was
Yeah, yeah,
all but confirmation that it is in fact over.
All 7 Fabricant bros in the comment section. It's over.
Devastated. We'll have a candlelight vigil for Fabricant.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next, if we even want to talk about it, is do retry.
This chapter, for me personally, I felt like this was a chapter that the author had wanted to do for a long time. You know what I mean? I talked about this during the MHA section, where like the author has something in mind, or not the MHA section, like the Toga stuff a while ago, where the author has something in mind. They just don't know how to get there. But once they get there, you can see like that they've put thought into this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what this chapter was. Um, it's like it felt like a massive recontextualization moment that should have come later in the story.
Yes, because again, it's so over, dude. This is
Yeah.
so done. Um, do
Uh,
retry
I
again. I think maybe hits 20, 20, 21, 20, maybe.
maybe I thought this chapter was okay, and then I got to the last page where they're like, "Okay, now we fight," and I was like, "Oh, never mind."
Oh, okay. The minute that I knew that this series was absolutely canceled, just like Fabricant, was when they were like, "Oh, we have to find your dad," and then on page
Yeah,
what 5 of this one, they're like, "Oh, we found your dad."
yeah.
I'm like, "Oh,
I
this
still
is
can't.
so over."
I still can't believe they executed that guy.
The guy from last week in the ring, they just
Yeah,
shot him a bunch of
I
times.
can't. I can't believe they executed him. Holy shit, that was so hard. I got nothing else to say
Yeah.
about it.
Also, again, yeah, it's really funny because his backstory's kind of fucked up. Like it's pretty
Yeah.
crazy. Um, and then he's like, "Aha, I am a bad guy now, and I'm gonna teach you that it's not good enough just to break your limits or whatever the fuck
I'm
shit."
a bad guy now. I'm gonna beat the fuck out of my son.
It's so stupid. Oh man, and of course somehow the son's gonna win, even though like look at his dad, it's
Is
fucking
this Endeavor
huge.
back? Is this Endeavor backstory?
This was the first attempt before Toya.
Oh man.
He is punching with
Yeah.
fire on his hand in the cover.
Oh shit, you're right.
It's all
Oh,
coming
this is
together.
Endeavor. Endeavor backstory, dude. That's
Endeavor
crazy.
backstory arc.
God,
All right,
what's
I'm
next?
moving on. I don't give a shit about the
Yeah.
retry, man. This shit sucks.
Yeah, it's almost done. We're good.
Yozakura family is next.
Um, I didn't really care about this chapter.
I kind of like the idea of like we have to combine our abilities, and again I like using the video game as like a way
Yeah.
to kind of demonstrate it. Um, the conflict, while it also seems really stupid, I kind of like it because they're fucking 4 years old. That's some shit
Fair.
that 4-year-olds would beef about, right? Like,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
dumbass name do we give this? Um,
yeah.
I kind of like that bit, and I also hope that it leads into it being less of a conflict for the two of them and more of a conflict for Kyoichiro, because he has kind
Hmm.
of has to like not be an off-putting little freak to get them to listen to him.
Yeah.
So I would kind of like to see a little bit. I also really like the panel where they're drawn all creepy, and they're just asking
Oh yeah.
him to pick a side in the fight. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm sick of the new main cast. I think already.
Yeah, I've kind of just like accepted fate, I think, with these children. I'm just like, all right, they're not going
See,
anywhere.
I will never accept fate. Okay, I will always fight against destined fate. I will be mad the entire time. This shit could go to chapter 400. I will be mad the whole time. Okay, I will never. The fire will never go out in my heart.
Yeah,
I
it
think the
sure
only
is
thing
something.
that the only note that I took down is that exactly what I said last week would happen, and that the damage that they do wouldn't matter, and they would just do a bunch of damage, and it would be over.
Yeah, that's fair. I can see that.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
sad.
just yeah. I mean, I sure wish it was Tayo still. I really like Tayo, and now he like is not in it anymore, which is
You
unfortunate
get
because
a
he was one of the more compelling main characters in the book for a while. You know. Um,
you got the flashback panel of him. You should just be sated, to be honest.
that's it. That's all you need. That's all you need.
Yeah. I really cannot fucking believe that they just changed MCs. It's honestly crazy to me.
Yeah, literally just like, hey, what if we make it kids? 100 or like, what chapter is this on? Like, it's a lot, right?
Was it? Yeah, what was it like 175, 180, something like that?
Something like that. Yeah. What are we at? 190.
Oh, I thought you meant like when we transitioned to the new MCs.
Oh, no, like where we are now. But I
Yeah,
mean,
we're on
yeah, that
190.
too. Like to do it almost 200 chapters in, feels
Yeah, I
insane.
mean,
But whatever.
I guess it's doing well because they're sticking with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I, I almost wonder what you have like. I always think back to when Toriyama wanted to do Dragon Ball and he wanted to age up Goku, and they were like, no, to today. You know, like where
Yeah,
Toriyama had to fight tooth and nail to make Goku not grow up. And now he's like, hey, I've written the main character of my story for 170 chapters. I would like to make it his two little shit kids. And they're
and
like,
the
yeah,
editor's just
all
like,
right, whatever.
okay. Because I
Yeah,
mean, I
like
guess
what?
it's something that you could get out of pretty easily because if it performed poorly, you could just go back to Tayo and just make some shit up, right?
I guess, yeah, like the kids get kidnapped or something by the big bad, and the story becomes about
Yeah,
the main cast saving them or something, whatever. Yeah, fine,
yeah. It
fine.
had an easy out.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it, but I that holds up. That
Yeah,
logically that holds up.
I don't know, man. I really miss the Yozakura family that I read in
Yes,
like
I do
3 sittings.
too. It was so good back in the day, man.
I was really having fun with it, man. Now I'm
Now
just
it's
sad.
just sure is.
It is a manga in Weekly Shonen Jump.
It sure is.
What do we
It
got next,
published
then?
weekly.
What do we got next?
uh, Akane Banashi.
I like this one. I thought it was
I
fun.
thought it was okay. It was fun. It kind of bothers me whenever someone's like, "Oh, she's sad now," and then like there's a page of her like kind of looking sad, and then one
Yeah.
of her friends is like, "Hey, are you gonna keep being sad?" And she's like, "No." Like that's that's
Yeah.
it. I get it. I get the whole like her friends came together and got her into the spirit and cheered her up, and she's
hmm
she's
hmm
back into it. Would have liked maybe a little more conflict to come out of that before not at all,
I'm
just
I'm
immediately.
hoping that I'm hoping that that teases more conflict. Maybe it won't. We'll see. Um, I just thought it was, I don't know, fun setup. That's really all I have to say about it. That's the trend for this week in general. I don't have much to say about most of these chapters.
Fair. Yeah,
I,
it sure was. I kind of like the setup. Like, I think the festival, it's kind of tropey. Like,
yeah,
it's a manga trope, but it's a good one. It's a fun
yeah.
one. The whole festival thing. But yeah, it was just kind of. I
It
just
was
would
not
have liked
much.
her. I would have liked her to be sad for more than like 3 panels of the
Yeah,
series.
I'm hoping that it's a little more complicated and that she just doesn't get, haha, I'm better now smile, like instantly. And then
Yeah, like she's still coping a
she
bit.
she can just like enjoy the moment, but still have it like maybe sitting in the back of her mind or something like that.
Yeah, I can see that. I hope that that's true. Um,
Will it happen? I don't fucking know.
I
Probably
don't
not.
fucking
But
know, man. I don't feel confident about it, but I hope so.
I
I hope
don't
so.
either. But listen, I'm Fabricant 100 strongest soldier, so I will cope as much as possible.
That's fair. Oh God. All right, next is Jujutsu Kaisen.
That was a good fight chapter.
It was.
Sakuna. I mean, Sakuna's really got to pack it up, dude. He's not.
Bro,
He's
he's
not him.
so cooked. Like, how do you
How do you
come back
talk
from this?
shit? How do you talk shit for 200 chapters and then have to have your fucking father step in for you?
Twice.
Twice. Oh man, it's embarrassing,
Literally,
bro.
all he's done this whole fight is talk mad shit and then get rocked immediately
Yeah,
afterward.
I've seen a lot of people go like, "Oh, but it's been both ways. It's been both Go Jover and then Sakuna fraud." I really no never in this entire fight have I actually thought that it's Go Jover. Never.
Okay, so like the biggest panic that I saw about it was the first time he got
Was
cut.
it? Yeah, the throat slash, which I thought it was very silly that people were freaking out about that. That was very obvious. He was just gonna heal that. Like,
Right, because he can, and that's kind of how
yeah,
I feel about Maharaga coming out and cutting him too. Is like he's just gonna
yeah,
heal that because he can just heal forever. Like he apparently like that. Gojo's weird for this kind of stuff because it's like, oh, because of his 6 eyes, he basically has infinite energy. But it's like,
Yeah.
okay, then can he just heal forever? Like Yuta's thing was eventually fighting all three of those people at once.
Eventually,
He
yeah.
got tired, right? Like he
Yeah.
was hitting the point where he couldn't keep it up forever. But apparently Gojo can keep it up forever. So what's gonna
I don't
happen?
know. Maybe there's some specific about the power system that we'll get a comment about. I don't
Yeah,
know,
or,
because I don't know the specifics of it. But I really have no idea how Gojo ever loses at this point. When he's just like, there has never been a point in time where I've been like, oh, Gojo actually looks bad in this chapter. No, he's just been kicking his ass the entire time.
he's just been fucking him up. Even
Yeah.
the pages where he's getting slashed to shit are
Yeah.
covered in him like talking mess at Sukuna and
Yeah.
then rocking him immediately afterward.
Yeah.
I like it. Like I keep thinking of that spread where it's the spread of Malevolent Shrine, and it's like Gojo getting slashed to shit, and there's like blood flying everywhere. And
Yeah.
the only words on it are, "It's a really good thing that I'm overwhelmingly stronger than him." And then he just starts beating his ass.
Yeah, man.
Like,
Sukuna is not beating the allegations. It's looking
no,
real bad for him.
that fucking panel right before Maharaga comes out when he knocks Sukuna out and he knocks
Yeah.
the wheel off of his head and it's
Yeah.
rolling on the floor.
I can imagine that the anime is gonna be really funny, like unintentionally. It's just gonna like fall. It's gonna be like like the music's gonna cut after the punch. It's gonna go dead silent, and then you're just
Yeah,
gonna
it's
hear
gonna make that
boom.
noise like when you drop a coin. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be after like 15 minutes of uninterrupted Sukuna getting his fucking ass kicked. He gets a black flash and then passes out standing up.
He literally is talking shit in this chapter with like half a face. He's
Yeah.
like, you're sloppy, you're panicking. And then Gojo's like, oh no, actually I'm about to knock
Actually,
the
I'm about
fuck
to
out of you.
fucking kick your ass.
I'm about to shit on you again.
You're sloppy. Are you panicking because I saw through you? Instantly fucking dies. Like-
Immediately gets fucking KO'd. It's like, because it's funny, like everyone keeps like having the whole Twitter war, and one side always goes, "Oh, we're just having fun," but now I'm like, I don't know, man, this is kind of getting bad.
it's looking rough for him. I mean, maybe he'll do something cool, or maybe Maharaga will continue to carry him in this entire fight.
And then it's like if Maharaga can, the problem with this fight, and we've said this a million times, and I'm gonna say it again,
Yes.
the problem with this fight is that whoever wins, how does that person lose to anyone else?
Yeah.
If
I don't know, man.
if Gojo beats Sukuna, how does Gojo not go, okay, now I'm just gonna one shot Kenjaku and then it's done, right?
Hmm.
And then if Gojo loses, then how could anyone beat Sukuna when Gojo couldn't kill him before Maharaga could kill him?
Hmm.
Hey, why aren't Yuta and Hikari jumping with Gojo right now?
Because they're busy gasping at the screen.
They're busy gasping at the TV like it's the Super Bowl.
They're busy gasping, going like, "Oh man, Gojo got slashed. If only there was something that somebody could do to stop that."
This whole fight feels so fucking silly. Cause like
Yeah.
half the time it's like this is like the fight, like the fate of the world is
Mhm.
right here. And then the other
Mhm.
half of the time it's just Kusakabe like with diagrams and like a chart. Like talk it's so stupid.
Also, I once again ask, stop putting Gojo's hair up, please. He looks so fucking
He looks
ugly.
so bad with the spiky hair. I don't know why it's up either. Because it almost like it looks like it's like spiked up like a Super Saiyan. At first I thought it was just blowing around because he was like
Yeah.
moving, right? Like he was just moving really
Well,
fast,
I
so it was
think
flowing.
I think early on that's what it was doing, but now it's not doing it anymore. It's just sticking up all the
It's
time
just
now.
stuck up in the air, yeah. Which
Like
it's never done that in the past.
like the last page where he's kind of getting sucked into the shadow a little bit, it should go up at first, right? And then it should start going down. And then in the final page where like he's blowing backwards, it's still sticking straight up. It's not moving at all.
Yeah, and I don't. It's almost like he draws him the way that he does with the blindfold off, but the blindfold isn't
Yeah.
on right now. Because when the
Yeah, he's
blindfold
just
is on,
ugly.
it spikes his hair up. But then when he takes it
Yeah.
down, his hair falls down. But it's
Hmm.
just staying spiked up now.
Yeah.
I don't know, and it looks
Sorry.
really bad. It looks really bad, spiky.
Yeah.
It looks
Sorry
good
for
when it's
calling him
down.
ugly again. Comments. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
I
But
agree.
he's just
It
ugly.
it looks really good when his hair is down, but then it's like
Yeah.
he always has it spiked up now, and I don't
Hmm.
understand why. It looks awful.
Oh yeah, I think I remember Twitter discourse like a week before this chapter was like, whatever happened to Black Flash?
Yeah, well, there you go. That's
Yeah. It was waiting.
Just waiting for
Oh.
someone more relevant to show up to use it.
Yeah. Good fine chapter. Um, Sukuna fraudulent, Gojo ugly. Summarizes the chapter right there.
Oh man, I almost don't want this fight to end because it's just funny watching Sukuna get absolutely fucking dicked every time he says something stupid.
Let's
Literally,
go for
it's
another volume.
yeah, please. He says you're sloppy, and then Gojo's very next words are actually that hasn't exploded yet, and then it explodes, and then he gets knocked out immediately. It it's like borderline comedic timing, even though it's obviously not supposed to be.
Yeah. Sukuna needs like a W real bad to beat the allegations of this
Yeah, at
fight.
this point, if even if Maharaga wins, like the man's tarnished.
He still didn't do anything. Like
Yeah, the legacy is in tatters, regardless.
yeah.
Oh my god.
All
All
right.
right.
What's
Next up
next?
is Sakamoto Days. I think. Actually,
I,
I don't, was this in your top three?
yeah.
It was. Okay, it's not Sakamoto Days. As I said it, I was like, oh shit, wait a minute, was it? Well, I know this one wasn't. It's My Hero Academia.
I don't read this manga.
Well, nobody did this week because it was 7 pages long.
uh All for One is still refusing to use the quirk that shuts off all electrical equipment I see.
Yeah, I feel like that's just one where they have to be like, oh, he doesn't have it, or because at some point, like they're gonna say something stupid, like I because I've been taunting him, he didn't do it because he
Mhm.
wants to beat me. It's like that's dumb. That's fucking stupid.
Mhm.
Um, I like that All Might talks like he's like a Shakespearean character from 40. Like what are you talking about beating the tar out of a helpless lad? What are you
Yeah.
doing? What are you saying?
Um
Nobody
All
says
Might got
beating
hit.
the tar and the word aghast and then says whooped right after that. Like no one talks that way.
All Might got hit by another massive attack and only broke a collarbone and his upper arm.
Yeah, and it's like, what do you mean that you have a dark shadow as a cape? What are you talking about? What do you mean?
This is so dumb, man. I'm just
He
like
didn't even break his bones. They're just fractured. They're just like
oh,
cracked.
are they just fractured? I thought they were
Yeah,
broken.
no, fractures in the clavicle and the left humerus.
Oh, it's just fractures?
Well, I mean, a fractured clavicle still hurts like shit, but like it's
Yeah,
not
it's
broken.
still
Yeah,
okay.
it's just a
Wow.
crack in it.
I thought it was broken. Never mind. It's he can't even break his bones, I guess. Strongest guy in like the fucking universe right now, by the way. Can't even break this guy's bones.
Yeah, also I like he's like, obviously I didn't fall for your cheap ploy. He says it's falling for it right now.
It's like
Between
I
AFO and Sukuna, we have like the biggest fucking fraudulent field of idiots
I
as our main
know.
villains.
I know people desperately want to defend this, but I think at this point there's nothing that anybody could say that convinces me this is good.
Yeah, it's just kind of like it's jingle keys, right? Like it's
Yeah.
oh, you know, here's this neato thing, but there's no like value here. It's a
Yeah.
fight that ended in Camino, as far as I'm concerned,
Hmm.
and now we're still having it again. Like, why are we having it again? We already had this fight, and it was way better the first time.
It was way better. It was significantly better, substantially better. Some might even say. This was a chapter that, due to it being 7 pages, honestly, Horisha shouldn't have released it. Um, and I'm not saying that because I hate the content, which obviously I do. But the chapter should genuinely, I would have preferred him to just say that, oh, sudden break, sorry, and then just like release a full chapter.
Yeah, like honestly, and the number of times that he gets like, oops, last minute, no chapter. You think that
Yeah.
he would realize they would be okay with him taking like a coordinated break,
Yes.
considering how often he takes not coordinated ones. Um,
Yeah.
so who is this helping? Like, it's not help. Clearly, it's not helping him feel any better because he still keeps doing it every week. And it's not like the editorial staff is like, aha, we got our 7 pages in for the book. And it's not like any of the fans are like, yes, I need my 7 pages where one punch gets thrown. Like, just take a fucking break, dog. You
Yeah.
need it.
So what a lot of people don't understand is that when a mangaka, I think I've actually talked about this before on the show, is that when a manga author takes a break, they're not taking a break. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They
they're
are not
catching
taking
up
a break.
basically. Like,
Yes, they are. If anything, they could be working more than before. So
It's just without like the deadline burden, like it
yeah.
taking a break is not like, oh, they're gonna do no work for 3 weeks and then they're gonna come back and start doing it again. It's easing their deadline stress
Hmm.
for the next few chapters. Like that's what it is.
Yeah, obviously still good, but not perfect. Uh,
No, but better than this.
yeah. So when you keep in mind that manga authors are usually working on 3 chapters at a time, so that's 3 things they have to work on at once. Additionally, if Shonen Jump says, "Hey, do a color page," you got to do a color page. If Shonen Jump says, "Hey, do a cover page," you got to do a cover page, right? Um, if Shonen Jump is doing a popularity poll, you got to worry about that, right? Like there are so many things. Or if you're getting like an anime adaptation, you need to do some anime promotion, right? For Shueisha, haha. There is so much shit you have to do as a manga author that a 1 week break is absolutely nothing.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, a 1 week break is just like, you know, it's like a homework extension.
yeah, and it's very apparent through Horikoshi's work recently with just like 11, 11, 13, 9, 7 page chapters, you know.
Hmm.
He's fighting for his life. He should go to Jump Giga.
Seriously,
Yeah.
struggling, like bad. I don't know what to say about, like we talked about earlier too. So maybe I've just said
Yeah.
everything there, but like he's there's no real defending it. Like just
Mhm.
do it, man. Just look out for yourself for once. There's no way
Mhm.
to salvage that.
Yeah. Not much to say about this chapter because nothing happened. Terrible chapter. Uh, terrible working conditions, and that's really about it.
Yeah, the working conditions are reflected in the chapter quality.
Yeah.
All right, so now we got Blue Box.
I like Blue Box putting a lot of effort into showing the third person in the love triangle moving on. I think that's fun.
Yeah, because a lot of times you'll get a love triangle, and then whoever loses is like they just stop showing up, like you just never see them
Yeah.
again, or
Yeah.
they pop up now and again doing borderline nothing. I like that Hina has not been like discarded as a character. She's
Yeah,
still
and
around.
I also like that they don't have the solution to move on because and I know that we praise Blue Box for being pretty emotionally aware a lot of the time, but also they are teenagers. So like they don't have it all figured out all the time, right?
Right, and I think
And
that's kind of
Hina
the point.
yeah, Hina has a nice support group that can point her in the right direction of how to cope with this, right? So it's simultaneously not dumbing down the characters while simultaneously making them dumb because they're kids. You know what? Does that make sense?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
doing dumb things for understandable, realistic reasons,
Yeah.
not just
Yeah.
because like we need to get this plot point across. It's because
Mhm.
these are kids learning how to process
Mhm.
these emotions, like learning how to deal with being in love, being
Mhm.
rejected. How do you cope? Like, what kind of relationship do you foster with that person after that? And I
Mhm.
liked that his advice wasn't like, well, obviously you should still be his friend because that's icky if you don't. It was, you need to do what you think is best for you, which is
Yeah.
the correct way to go about it. Because,
Mhm.
when it comes to relationships, especially, a lot of people have like this expectation of how you should behave and all this stuff.
Mhm.
And there's no like rule book unless like don't be a creep, don't be like a nasty pest. But like when it comes to determining whether or not you want to be around that person as much as you do, I don't think she would have been unjustified to say like I need space and to
Yeah,
not
exactly.
I need to not like hang out with you all the time. And I
Yeah.
think that a lot of times for someone who is rejected romantically like that, the expectation is that they should just revert to as if they had never said it and just
Yeah.
continue like life as it
Mhm.
is. Like that's the quote unquote like honorable path or whatever,
Mhm.
which
Mhm.
makes no sense and totally isn't how you should do it. And it's why you get like these weird quote unquote friend zone horror stories of like, I've rejected this guy 38 times
Yeah.
and then he hangs out with me for another 2 weeks and tries again. And it's like, you have to understand your own emotional limits and what you can and can't do. And
Uh-huh.
her coming to that conclusion that like she can reframe and move on from the way that she felt and keep having a genuine friendship with him was nice and it was good.
Mhm. Yeah, good chapter. I liked it.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Blue Box has always been kind of just solidly delivering for a little bit now, so I always expected to be fine at worst.
Yeah, I never really go into a blue box chapter being like, oh boy, what are we
Yeah.
gonna fucking deal with today? It's always, yeah, blue box is always good. All right, so just a nice, cute chapter, and then that puts us at Martial Master.
I enjoyed this one quite a bit. Um,
I like the new
I
character. I like the
oh
grappler
yeah.
girl. She's cool.
Actually, let me pull up the chapter as well real quick, just so I can see what I'm talking about. Where is it? Am I blind?
It's what's it between? It's in between Roboco and Kill Blue.
Oh, there it is. Jesus Christ. Okay. um, I feel like the way that the first fight flowed was nice. Actually, I think I liked it. Um, I think it portrayed a movement pretty decently, and it doesn't have the issue you were talking about, where like you get punched in one panel and then like the reaction happens in the panel after. You know what I mean?
Yeah, where like there's no movement between the two. Like
Yeah.
again, a good example of that is page 3 to page 4. Just
Yes.
that
Exactly.
little panel of her starting to move her arm, right? Because that's actually her
Mm-hmm.
opponent right there. So the
Mm-hmm.
point is that like the opponent's starting to make a move, and then bam, gets caught by the much faster hit
Yeah.
from her. Good stuff. Great stuff. Flows great. Love it.
Yeah. I really liked how that first fight flowed, despite how instantaneous it was. Sometimes it's how it be though in MMA.
Well, yeah, like you get your shit. Like ask Sukuna. Sometimes you
Yeah.
get your shit decked and you're out, right? Like what can you do about it?
Yeah. Overall, man, I don't know. I just think this manga is enjoyable, and I hope that it doesn't get axed.
I hope so too, because the author of this is the same one who wrote Hinamaru Sumo, which did get axed. Um,
Oh,
so I mean,
I haven't
not
heard.
not that getting canceled in the past means that you're
Yes.
going to get canceled in the
Yes.
future, obviously. Um,
It just means that they might have more experience to not get canceled because they know what
that
they're.
that and
Yeah.
like because sumo is kind of like a niche thing,
Hmm. Hmm.
and then it seems like they went into a similar because Hinamaru Sumo is kind of like this. It's like a high school club of sumo competitions, right? And
Hmm.
so they've kind of moved it now into, and I think they go pro at Hinamaru at some point. And if Neo watches the episode, he's gonna fucking kill me because I have no idea what I'm talking about. Um, I think they go pro eventually, and like it starts out with them being semi-pro, and then they go, or like in high school, and then they go pro
Hmm.
later. And it's kind of like looking like it's the same vibe. Like he's gonna do like these competitions, and then the goal is to become a pro fighter eventually. And it seems like they kind of went with just something that's a little bit more universally understandable. It's like,
Yeah.
MMA fighting is like everywhere in the world gets that. Like it's not a niche
Punch each other
Japanese
in the head.
sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit one another, right? Like it's not all
Yeah.
these you don't it's kind of like the issue in the very beginning of Akane Banashi where like Oceans was talking about, it's tough because Rakugo is such a specific thing
Yeah.
that like it's not just oh they're having a play or they're filming a movie.
Hmm.
Like you have to explain what Rakugo even is to your audience
Yeah.
before you can really tell the story. You don't really have to do that with MMA because it's just like everyone knows what fighting is, right? Like
Yeah.
it's so universal that it's fine.
Everyone knows how to kick each other's asses. Like that's base kit.
Yeah, yeah, everyone knows to how to throw punches.
Yeah.
I like the
Um,
grappler girl. I think she's cool. I
I
don't
was
know. I
gonna
don't know which one
say,
I want to win.
I like, and this might sound weird, but I like that an author of an anime or a manga was not afraid to make a strong woman look strong.
Yes, she's just big,
She's
right?
fucking huge.
She's not
Yes.
like yeah. She's not like oh my god. Like what's a good example? What's that girl's name? The Demon Slayer character who looks like a twig, but she's got superpowers because she's got strong like muscle fiber or whatever. Um,
Oh god, asking me to name a Demon Slayer character,
the
dude?
the girl with
Jesus.
the watermelon hair and the sword that's like a
Um,
whip.
her sword's a whip?
Isn't it? Doesn't she have a sword
I,
that's like
I,
bending? I don't
I,
remember. I don't remember.
I
Demon
haven't
Slayer.
watched
I
season 3, bro.
I don't know. I read it. I didn't watch any of this shit.
Um,
She's just basically she's like the giant
I,
boob girl, and
I know who. Yeah, I remember
yeah,
because people would post the picture of her in the bath. What was her name?
yes,
What,
from the
Mitsuri?
swordsmith.
Mitsuri was that her name?
Maybe that sounds kind of right.
Yeah.
Um, but it's like her whole thing is like, oh, she's super strong physically, but she still looks like a 14-year-old high school
Yeah.
student because she has ultra muscles or whatever, which I find
Yeah.
really stupid. This chick is just swole. Like she's
Yeah.
fucking giant.
Just huge.
She's gonna kick the shit out of you visibly, right? Like it's great.
Yeah. And I think that does serve to my earlier points about earlier in the series about how this series isn't really afraid to diverge a little bit from gender ideals. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like
Because
even the
obviously,
the main girl, like she's not huge, but she's pretty big
Yeah,
for
yeah, she got
like
a pretty big bicep, man.
yeah, like she's pretty cut, you know?
Yeah. Um, it helps sell that message more when you're also not afraid to like, because I think a lot of manga authors do it, well, because they're horny, right? And because that's what they want their women to look like.
Oh yeah, because they
But
have to be like
yeah,
supermodels on top of having
yeah,
all the yeah.
but this author is like, okay, you're a grappler, you're a former wrestling champion. Yep, you're huge. Like,
Yeah, you're
it's just
you're
how
gonna
it
be
is.
shredded. Like that's just how it
Yeah,
has to be. Yeah.
not everyone could be Horikoshi, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Um, and I kind of like the setup for the next one where she was intentionally only grappling, like
Yeah,
to hide that she could do it because she wanted to make the next
yeah,
fight good. Um, and I also like that we're getting the main character kind of starting to analyze like that because
yeah.
his whole thing is he's kind of new, you know.
Hmm.
Um, and I like that we're starting to get him looking at it and being like, well, actually, I would have done this, this, and this. And then,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
series can say whether that's a good idea because I don't know shit about MMA.
I
I
don't
don't
know
know if
either.
he's right. But, the series will tell us if he's right or not. And I like because I don't know, it's just a good way to symbolize that your main character is kind of building interest and like passion at the thing that he's doing.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah. I like the series, man. It's fun.
Yeah, it's good. I hope that it lives. I think it probably, I haven't seen a lot about it, but it's chapter 9, so I don't know how good or bad that is. Um,
Yeah, and also I don't think there's been a volume release yet, so
No, it's only chapter 9, so the volume would have been finished at 7, so they have to compile it, release it, and all that stuff.
yeah. So we'll see soon how it sells.
I have high hopes.
Yeah,
It's the happiest I've been with the first few chapters. I mean, I guess Kill Blue I was pretty happy with from the beginning too, but I like it
and there's
more
just
than like obviously Do Retry, New A, Fabricant, Ichinose Family. Like I think this has been really good
hey,
all the way through from the beginning.
you keep fabricant out your goddamn mouth. You understand me?
Fabricant's not bad. I'm just saying that it was kind of so-so. This has not been so-so at any point to me. I've liked it the whole
Interesting.
time.
Jotting this down. When the great
Fabricant
fabricant
gang.
purge
Yeah.
begins, we will remember this.
Oh.
Anyway, what's next?
Next up is Kill Blue.
Oh yeah, I like this one too. And it seems
I
that
think your theory is looking correct.
yeah,
That the
yeah. I
cherry
mean,
temp reversed him.
which I do think is very cool.
Yes, I think that they can definitely make that a good plot point in the future. I really like Tenma, which I'm glad about because I really hate the pacifier guy.
I
It,
know. I saw your tweet about that too, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty true. That's pretty
yeah,
true.
it felt like when the pacifier guy first joined the cast and lost, they were trying to make him like, oh, he's going to be around all the time. And
Yeah,
then my assumption is either like the editor or like some survey fans or something were like, dude, this is bad and sucks. So now he has like a new right hand guy, and
yeah,
I think Tenma's really
way
great. I
better.
like him a lot. Yeah, I like his little moment where he's like, well, I don't really care if Nori
Yeah,
got
yeah,
kidnapped or not, and
yeah. I
then
think the stuff between him and Chisato was very good, in my opinion.
yeah, and just a little bit where he's like, I don't know how to like I don't really have a good read on the room, but
Yeah,
if it'll make you happy, I'll do it. Like I liked that.
yeah.
Because
Um,
it starts off seeming selfish, where it's like
mhm,
I don't give a shit about anything but you, but then it kind
mhm.
of veers into being at least a little selfless, because like I'll chase down multiple armed kidnappers in the street if that's what you want me to do, right? So like it's
Yeah,
I like him. I like him.
yeah. Uh, I also liked the fact that when he reverted, he like completely lost his cool. Like his helper said, like even though he's usually like rational and logical, and he's always thinking about ways out of tight situations,
Oh yeah, he's like freaking out.
because he enjoyed like this life that he was living. As the second it disappeared, he was like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
The whole bathroom escape sequence I thought was really funny when his helper guy was like, that they don't know what you look like. You could have just
Yeah,
left. You could have
yeah, he
just
could have just
walked
walked
out of the
out.
bathroom. They have no idea.
Yeah, I like
Uh,
this, and it was a good setup chapter. I enjoyed it.
yeah, it's a good setup chapter. I hope that Tenma is not one and done here. Like I hope that he helps him
Hmm.
fight and then it just ends.
Hmm.
Or like that's not what happens. I mean, I don't want him to just fight and it's over. I want him to kind of stick around. Because I feel like this is where this series is gonna kind of go, where it's
Yeah.
for a while it's just gonna be, oh no, they're after the girl. Oh, I got him, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but still, I really like this. I like where Kill Blue's going. Apparently, it's
Mhm.
really popular, which makes me happy to hear.
Sweet. That's good.
It's been doing really good in the table of contents. It's gotten 2 covers already, I think.
Wow. Two?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Apparently,
God.
it's second one. Yeah, it was one of those accounts. You know, they all look the same. Just have the
Yeah.
Shonen Jump logo as their icon.
Yeah.
One of them was like it's one of the fastest to 2 covers in like a really long time. At only
Damn.
17 chapters.
Sweet.
So yeah,
Cool.
I have faith that Kill Blue will be around for a good while.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad that we don't have to worry about getting X'd. Because this is
Well, you know,
enjoyable.
I'm always a little worried, but it's not at the forefront of my brain. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
All right, so the next we have Sakamoto.
I really like this one.
I thought it was
I
super cute. The like
yeah.
at first I was like, oh, it's gonna be, you know, just a silly one where they're like dismantling him or whatever. But then the
Yeah.
minute that the little girl was like, I'm gonna help you get better because my dad likes to help people and I'm gonna help. I was like,
Yeah.
that's one, exactly some dumb shit that a little kid would do. And
Yeah.
two, was fucking cute. Like she made him a little tank man and then he had his
I
moment of like,
yeah.
I'm a good person now, you know?
I really liked this chapter. Yeah, I really just like watching him fuck around. It was fun. I liked when she wanted to put Wi-Fi in him, and he was like, "I don't need Wi-Fi."
Yeah, well, yeah, all the times that she was like, oh, what about this?
Yeah. um, having him be able to see what everyone else sees in Sakamoto was nice, and how it came around to impact how he thinks about his interactions with people at the end. So like, it was a silly chapter with a good message. And then his repair bill was $13 US.
Also good. And yeah, every little
Yeah.
time that she like upgraded him into something that's not even remotely like close to what he wanted was funny. It was good jokes. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was the same joke every time, but it never made me go like,
It was
okay, like
great every time,
yeah,
dude.
I never got to the point where I was like, that's enough now. You know, I
Yeah.
thought it was funny
Yeah.
the whole time. And he's sitting on the bench with his little like cup of oil that he's drinking
Yeah.
all night. Like it's
Yeah.
good. It's fucking funny.
I really liked it, man. This was a really fun chapter.
And then I was glad that he didn't die. I was worried he was gonna like die for the little girl and we would have like a
Oh
little
yeah.
ending of like he got reformed at the last moment because of the little girl. But no, Sakamoto saved him and he's like, oh damn.
Yeah.
And now we might have
Quite.
Silly Deer Man as like an ally that's around as a
Yeah.
little tank, which I'm okay
Yeah.
with.
Little tank treads, his little fan on the back, and his Goku
Yeah.
Gadget extendo arms,
Like when
and his
he's
Wi-Fi.
like, I can't fucking move. The treads don't move. And she's like, I got you. And she puts a fan on his back, which does nothing.
Yo, yo. Think about this though. Final arc. They need internet connection. Boom. He's got Wi-Fi. They
Oh
actually
my
did get the
god,
Wi-Fi.
if they work that joke in the future, that shit will actually like to kill me.
That'd be peak fiction.
Chekhov's
When
Wi-Fi adapter, you
he
can't
has
like.
he has a router installed in his fucking chest.
Oh my god, that would actually kill me.
Great chapter. I enjoyed it.
Absolutely, absolutely peak. Sakamoto's so good. I feel like Sakamoto and the one we're about to talk about next are probably going to be like the leaders going through like
Yeah.
when the big stuff starts to go. You know, like
Mhm.
they're just so good all the time.
Mhm.
And speaking of, let's jump into Undead Unluck.
Very good chapter. As tradition for Undead Unluck, I liked the stuff about Foucault basically not wanting Chikara to like feel like he has nothing besides the Union, like he did in the previous loop, and allowing him to keep his loved ones beside him was like allowing him to make that choice himself was good.
Yeah, and I like the setup of the bad guy at the end, like the paint thing. One, I think his design looks
Hmm.
good. He looks
Hmm.
kind of silly, but like in a good way. He's like the paint splatter head. Like
Yeah,
that's peak silly design.
true.
Um, I like that Fang couldn't bring himself to punch the kid because he's kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
growing as a person. He's not like a total freak anymore.
yeah. I noticed that too.
So he's probably going to be like an
Somewhat,
ally on some
somewhat
level.
more well adjusted.
Yeah, not a total freak.
Yeah.
And
I
I like
also,
the last page too of Fuko kicking him in half. Shit
Yeah,
looks cool.
the section of Fuko talking to Chikara when he's like, "I don't know how to repay you for what you've done for me," and she was like, "Oh, you don't have to because like being able to create these memories and have a school life that I never actually got to experience." That was sweet.
It was sweet, yeah, because that was her big thing in the future was why she was like so lonely and couldn't ever do anything was because of her power. And now
Yeah,
she kind of got to come
yeah,
around and redo it. I like that she spent all this time making him that special camera because
yeah.
he can't stay completely still because his fucking his power will fuck up. And I also like the little bit about like it seems on the surface that that should be really good for photography, but he's not trying to take like a bunch of still pictures. He wants to capture
Yeah,
genuine, real moments that you
yeah.
can't
That was
do
a
if you
very
freeze everyone. I thought that was cute.
I really like that one. Yeah. Um, that whole bit about how he wants to capture the genuine moments. That was really sweet. I really liked that.
Yeah, it was. This is the whole series is like it can be doing kind of nothing and still just
Yeah.
hit on all cylinders the whole because until color comes around, nothing really happens. They're just kind of talking.
Mhm,
But the talking the whole time, like it's fucking sweet and cute, and everyone has a good moment in the whole chapter, even though they're really not doing that much. It's good shit, top quality. With a series with a main cast this big too, because Undead Unluck has a big fucking
mhm.
cast.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like a lot of series will run into the issue where a lot of the characters are just background dressing and they just don't do anything.
Mhm, mhm.
They're just kind of around. Like I love the bits about the about Unseen not showing up in the photos because he keeps fucking
Oh
blinking,
yeah.
and so he's
Yeah.
vanishing, and so he has to like training himself to pose, like do silly poses with one eye open so he doesn't vanish, so he shows up in the pictures, he
Mhm,
doesn't blink. Is like I like
mhm.
that shit. It's cute little character moments that are just
Yes,
fun that a lot of series don't get.
I agree. I agree completely. Yeah, it uses its cast very well. It definitely has the best cast in Shonen Jump, at least for me personally.
I agree. I agree. I think Yozakura would have been in competition for it before everyone got kicked out.
Before the
Um,
incident.
yeah, but the incident of chapter 175, whole Wikipedia page.
God
Um, I
damn
also
it.
really like later when he's looking at the picture when he's kind of because obviously he's going to show up to help them, right? Like
Yeah,
it's not a twist.
yeah,
He's going to do it.
yeah.
But I like when he's looking at the picture and kind of like thinking about them and everything.
Mhm,
The guy is still in there with one eye closed, like
mhm.
just in the photo after the joke. Like I love that shit.
Yeah, man, I love the series. It's a shame about the
It's
first volume,
great.
but like, goddamn, the rest is so good.
It is. Yeah, and I had to tell someone on Twitter just the other day because I made that tier list thing that you did too, that everyone was, that all the people were freaking out about. Um, and I had Undead Unluck really high,
Oh my
and
god, we
someone
should talk about
responded
that.
that we can talk about that at the in the wrap up.
Yeah, yeah.
Someone responded and was like, "Hey, I tried getting into Undead Unluck, and I think it's just fucking like terrible. And if you're saying that it gets really good, because you're the guy who sits around talking about fucking manga all week, um, if you say it's really good, I'll try it again. But if I really didn't like the beginning, will I like it later? And it's annoying to have that. Not to you aren't annoying me, guy who asked that question. You're fine.
It's
Having
the
to
yeah
have
the
the
volume. Yeah,
conversation is annoying because that volume I feel like does a lot of damage to the
it's
series in
bad,
general.
man. And
Like the
it's like
number of
if
people who have said that, like I completely dropped it and I haven't looked at it ever since that first volume because it's so bad. It's really
yeah,
sad.
and it's like I don't even know how to recommend the series to people when it comes out in the anime. Like, what am I supposed to fucking tell them? Oh yeah, get past the sexual assault, and it's like fire. Like,
Yeah, well, because that's what you have to say. Like
yeah,
I feel kind of dumb saying it. It's just like yeah, there's a lot of weird Coomer rape bits in the beginning,
yeah,
and then once you get past it, it's done. And
yeah.
a lot of people are like, oh, it's just the first volume. It is a little bit longer than that. Don't they beat the
It
first
is.
bad guy with him like groping her or something like to get her
I
power?
believe so. Yes. Yes.
It's a little bit longer than that. But once they abandon it, it never comes back, and the series skyrockets to like a
Yes.
9.5 out of 10 the whole time. It's
Yes.
so good, and it's such a shame that it started so shitty because you can't just make that part go away, you know? And
Yeah.
it's like New A tier bad too, like maybe even worse, because at
It is
least like
worse than New Ways. Yes.
with New A stuff, it's like teehee, oops, like silly
Yeah.
awkwardness. With Undead Unluck, it's literally like, hey, if I rape you, I might die. Like,
I'm
and
going to
that's what I
assault
want.
you now.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm going to assault you so that your power, oh my god, it's so bad.
it's fucking insane, dude.
It's terrible. And then, you get through it and the series is incredible. And it's like,
Series is very good.
it's
Yes,
so, and it's funny too because the relationship between Fuko and Andy is really good after all of
it's
that.
very good. Yeah,
And
which
it
it
feels
has
so
such a.
weird to be like, yeah, the relationship between assaulter and victim is
Uh,
really cute and heartwarming.
yeah,
It's
it's tough.
so bad, dude.
It's tough, man.
I,
Oh
it's
god
so
damn it.
it's so
Yeah.
good now though. I am consistently torn between this Sakamoto as like what takes the week for me at this point. Like it's always so good.
Yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm sure we'll probably start getting back in there when we start doing things other than just punching each other.
Yeah.
Um, but like something about Undead Unluck is just even the little things, the silly little things that it does are so good that it's hard not to just like it the entire time. You know?
Hmm. So those tier lists, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I guess we should talk about that, dude. That was some
So
fucking discourse for a while there.
what's funny is that I didn't get any flack from my tier list at all. Actually, no one gave a shit about mine. But someone that just so happens to be a mutual of mine posted theirs with MHA in like one of the bottom ranks. Holy fuck, dude!
The
I
absolute nightmare. I'm sure that started.
Yeah, and about me for some reason.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was the Asa Cabal, the secret.
Yeah, yeah, the cabal that I posted. Yeah.
Yeah. That post was so funny. Where who? Oh shit, I feel bad because I forgot his name. The Ochako Toga guy.
Bubba.
Yeah. When he posted and he was like, "I'm this is bullshit. Like no one's giving me
Oh
credit for hating,
yeah,
and they're all saying it's
yeah.
Asa's fault."
Like I understand that they're very upset with me for not liking current My Hero Academia, and they can feel however they want. But why are you attacking other people for how I feel about things? That's what I don't understand.
It's yeah. Well, the whole look at the premise that there's like a secret group of haters combined.
Dude, the secret group is called my public fucking Discord. The Discord invite is
This
literally just my name. Like it's like how you
it's
get into it. It's it.
so fucking funny. The secret shadow cabal trying to make everyone hate MHA. Bro, it kills me.
And I don't know if you've seen it, but they're doing it again today actually. Um, because someone posted a screen cap from I think 9 months ago of someone posting a tweet where it was one of the tweets where it was like, if you don't like the MHA racism plotline, you like violent protests, and
Oh
Bubba called that
God,
stupid, and he was right,
that is
obviously.
stupid.
Yeah,
Like, what are you
and
talking about?
now they're raging on MHA Twitter about it because we have a secret cabal that we shit talk people in, I guess.
This is secret fucking back rooms. The MHA
Yeah,
Illuminati.
yeah. In reality, it's just a public Discord server where sometimes people just post things that they see. That's really as deep as it is.
That's so fucking funny. I also love the post where you're like, shit, I don't remember now. Oh yeah, you took a picture of how many messages you send in the MHA server, and it's like
Oh
not that
yeah,
many. Yeah, and it's
yeah.
like not that many at all compared to everything else. It's so funny.
Yes, I have the pictures right here. I have sent. So this Discord has existed for, in a couple weeks, it'll be 2 years. And in 2 years, I have sent 7,000 messages in the MHA channel. In the ReZero channel, I have 46,000. So like, I am not posting in there really.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh my God, this reminds me, totally unrelated thing, but I was watching a
Hmm.
streamer the other day. I don't remember who it was. He was streaming Final Fantasy VII, and I just like at night when I'm going to sleep, I just flick through like speedruns.
Hmm.
And this guy was speedrunning Final Fantasy VII, and he was talking with his stream chat about like anime that he had watched recently, and ReZero was one. And he was like, "Yeah, shit was fucking ass." I was like, "Oh
Yeah,
no!"
I mean, yeah, it happens with really any popular
I
thing. You
was
know what are
like,
you gonna
"Oh no! Don't tell him. Don't let him find this place."
do? I mean, he was objectively wrong, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. um, yeah, no one. The only thing that people gave me a hard time about in my tier list was that I dropped Dan to Dan. That was it.
Oh yeah, I haven't even read that. People want me to read that so bad.
Um, I remember someone was like, "You dropped Dan to Dan, but you have Fabricant S," and I was like, "Yeah, because one is bad and one is good." I hope this helps.
Yeah, I hope that clears it up for you. One is bad, one is very good.
um, yeah, I don't know. A lot of people were very upset about the Dan to Dan disrespect. And people compared it to Undead Unluck because apparently they both have very, very bad first volumes, which is true for Undead, true for Dandadan. I don't know if Dandadan gets better, obviously, because I haven't read it. And the only reason why I ever gave Undead Unluck a second shot is because of Shonen Shill. So if we read Dandadan, then I will read it. But if it's not going to be on the show, I'm not going to read it because
Yeah, I mean,
chapter one sucks.
chapter one's so bad. That's
Yeah,
the one with the old lady that's like, I'm gonna eat your cock or whatever, right?
something like that.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna get demonetized for this, but whatever, who cares? Um, yeah, it's terrible. It's like, and it's one of those series where there's all those kind of jokes, but they're not funny. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying the word like balls, and that's supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
funny. Because like
Exactly.
I'll watch. I'm gonna get totally flamed in the comments for this because the show has a lot of random haters. But Gintama does this kind of thing where it just does like stupid toilet humor, but it's
Mhm.
really funny actually. And I don't usually like toilet humor. Like there's literally a mini arc in Gintama where a bunch of dudes get their dicks taken and replaced with screwdrivers.
The fuck?
Yeah, it's completely nonsensical. But the funniest fucking line from it is they have like a big anime hero entrance where they like attack the main fortress of the bad guys, right? And it's like
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
him standing there like in an anime pose with like light shining behind him, silhouetting him against like the hole that he broke through the wall, and it's
Mm-hmm.
complete silence, and then all he says is, "All right, give me back my dick," and that's it. It just ends right
Mm-hmm.
there. Like that shit's funny to me, and it's like not. It's built on like actually what's happening instead of just weird like, oh my God, the old lady is yucky. That's a funny joke, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Dan to Dan did not wow me. The Shonen and Chill Discord is routinely like, I can't believe you got to get in there, and I'm like, no, I don't got to get anywhere.
No, I'm
I don't got
good.
to get anywhere, brother.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine not getting in there actually.
Yeah, you can get in there. You tell me how it is in there. I'm gonna stay out of here. I think. Don't
Yeah,
need any of
I'm not reading that shit personally.
that. No, I mean, we'll eventually probably open back up once we get keep getting routine episodes out and everything. We'll get on with the like, oh, you can recommend a series for us to read, Patreon stuff and all that. We'll get back into that. But
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try and start Chainsaw Man Part 2 this week, by the way.
oh, there you go. Look at that live on the air announcement. Chainsaw Man Part Two
I was
coming
gonna start it
soon.
last week, but I read manga at my bus stop while I'm waiting before and after work, and it was 105 degrees outside, and I didn't feel like reading, so I didn't.
That's fair. Yeah, I would be near death.
Yeah. Um, Speaking of your tier list, buddy, damn, you do not like do retry. You really threw
No,
that
dude,
shit
that
in
shit sucks, bro. I hate it so much. I hate it
You
so much.
really, you really be gone from this mortal realm. Those with hearts disdained.
Yeah, it fucking sucks. I don't know what to tell you. It's really bad.
Next up, Boruto, dude. That's tough.
You know what? You want to hear the fucking world ender right here? I like Boruto more than
Yeah,
Do
I
Retry.
figure. I mean, I figured because it's above it.
Well, there's no order, and
God.
I just the first one that came up on the list, I just put it in the first
Oh, you
position.
didn't order these at all?
No, the tiers are
Oh,
not ordered.
okay.
Just by
I
just letter only.
I ordered mine.
No, I'm too lazy for that shit. Like,
Well,
cause like if I were to look at my S tiers, there are days where one would be better, and there's days where the other one would be better, and
I
I just put
I
them close together.
I ordered mine besides the dropped ones. I did not order the dropped ones, but the rest I did. Um, Fabricant is still my number one. Undead Unluck will be my number one in about 3 to 5 business weeks. Um,
Yeah.
My Hero Academia is indeed my bottom two of the magazine currently.
Hey, I don't blame you. If it weren't for Do
Uh,
Retry and New Age Exorcist, it would pretty low for me too.
I do find it. Um, we both did not enjoy World Trigger that much, did we?
I liked it a lot in the beginning. Um, this current arc, I'm trying to think of how to word it without being too mean. Um, the early stuff was really good, really cool. I like the kind of like power system with like the different
Yeah,
weapons, like it's kind of video gamey, but like not in a bad way.
yeah.
Um, the current arc is borderline indecipherable because
I
it's
haven't
like
read it.
it's terrible. It's like they're taking a bunch of tests and shit, and it's
They're
like
still taking tests.
they're still taking tests. Yeah, they're still doing that shit.
That's all they do.
I know it's all they do because they only release like a couple chapters every month or whatever, so they don't really get anywhere. And it's supposed to be like, oh, it's this cerebral like, but what determines the ranking points? And every character looks kind of the same.
I agree.
And you see people levy that complaint toward like Jujutsu Kaisen, toward JoJo,
I
and all,
disagree with that.
but at least in those series, no matter how much you want to argue same face syndrome for any series, at least the characters mostly like dress differently and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone wears like the same outfit in World Trigger. I think the way I put it on Twitter was it feels like I'm constantly trying to pick apart whose video game created character is whose. Like everyone kind of looks the same with like minor differences, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and other than like the one arc where they get attacked, where like the group attacks, which I thought was really good. Um, it's just like, oh, we're taking more tests. All of it is
Yes,
just taking
I
tests.
I dropped it on chapter 100 exactly, and I say dropped, but I was like, okay, I'll read more tomorrow, and that tomorrow never came, and
Tomorrow
I've
never
never
came.
thought about it
Yeah,
again.
it's just I don't know. It's just not there. Kind of the same thing happened to me with Twin Star Exorcists. I was kind of just like, all right, I've completed my time reading this.
I have the story is done now. It's over.
Yeah, it's like I read enough of it, and then I was like, well, I'll probably read the next one, and then it just the next one came, and then I just didn't read it, and then I moved on
You
with my
see,
day. Yeah,
what I'm glad what we're united on though. Ruby Dragon is A tier. It's true.
Re Dragon's good, man. I really am sad that we might not ever
Yeah,
get more of it. It's
it
really
was
good.
very good. I quite enjoyed it. Wait, you
Uh,
read One Piece? Oh, actually, I remember you doing
yeah. I've been slowly catching up.
damn, and it's in B. That's tough.
It's it, it's in B. Well, I'm not like nearly caught up. I'm like a few hundred chapters in. So I'm a long way away from wherever Wano and all that stuff. But
Oh,
One Piece constantly shifts between like, oh my God, this is some of the finest fucking food I've ever had in my entire life, and then the
uh
very next like chapter after that arc ends is the single worst piece of dog shit you've ever read in your entire life.
huh.
I can't think of a single worse intermittent thing than the fucking Long Ring Island, where they're like, I don't remember which arc it came after. It was a really good one too, which pissed me off because it was a super good arc, and then the very next arc is just like some goofy fuck is like, hey, do you want to do Water Olympics for like a few chapters? And that's it. That's the whole thing. And it's infuriating. It makes me not want to read it because every time I really really like something, I just know it's gonna be fucking ass afterward for like 200 chapters of just shit.
It's the ebb and flow of One Piece, I guess.
Yeah, because dude, Water 7, Ennie's Lobby, the shit was so fucking good. I was like, I was in there. I'm like a notorious One Piece hater, apparently. I don't actually really hate it that much, but ask Twitter, and I'm like the guy who like fucking hates One Piece. I was in there, man. I was like
Yeah.
tuned in. I would hit my 100 daily chapter limit and be like, "You piece of shit program, give me some more fucking One Piece." And then the next arc starts, and it's like the most absolute piece of shit garbage.
The next arc would start, and you would use like 1/10 of your 100 chapter limit.
Yeah, the next arc would start, and I would be like, "Do I really need to read One Piece? Do I have to?" Which is a crazy
My
thing to feel after like one of my like I I consistently rate One Piece as like okay, and I
yeah,
think Enies Lobby might be one of my favorite shonen arcs ever. And it's like,
my my One Piece experience is my girlfriend and I were gonna start it one day, and we started the episode, and then my internet went out, and that's how I knew.
faded.
That's how I knew I should not pick it up, and here we are. I was so close to the devil's temptation, but I've resisted.
I'm apparently approaching Marineford, whatever the one is, and everyone's like
I've heard of that.
that's the best arc ever. So I gotta get back in there and start reading that. And then because it's the best arc ever, the very next one is probably fucking horrendous.
The worst that
Yeah,
has ever been published in Weekly Shonen Jump.
yeah, but just absolute like, dude, it's so bad. And One Piece is hard to start too, in my opinion. I think it starts really slow. A lot of people fight me on that. They're like, "Oh, the beginning is actually great." I think the beginning sucks. I think it's terrible.
Well, I mean, I think One Piece has been around long enough that there are those people, just like kind of every big series, that people defend anything, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair enough. The
Yeah.
beginning is literally just like a bunch of Disney backstories where it's like, "Oh my God, every bad thing on the planet happened to all of these people." And it kind of makes me just not care because after a while I have like a level of disbelief I can handle for like
Yeah.
insane tragedy. And
Yeah.
it's like, "Oh, both of my parents died in a fire and then I cut my arm off to eat so that I didn't have to go hungry, and then I got beat
Holy
up by the
shit.
local gangs, and then I went to an orphanage where they shot my friend, and then my dog died, and then my other dog got cancer, and now I'm here on Luffy's crew. And I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous, dude.
Is there
Like,
someone that's just like a normal dude?
no! Everyone on his crew, I guess Luffy is close
Oh, okay.
enough to the only one that's like a normal guy.
They should
He
just
just
have
has
like
like a,
someone. They should just have someone who like rocks up and is like the backstory starts and he's like, no, I'm just like I don't know. I worked like
I
a nine to
just want to
five.
be, yeah, I just want to be a pirate because yeah,
Yeah,
he's just that guy from Akane Banashi who's like,
I
I
have.
didn't want to be a salesman anymore, so I'm a
Yeah,
pirate
I
now.
have a. I actually have a perfectly fine relationship with my parents.
Yeah, no, dude, they're all like that. Again, I guess except for Luffy, who's just like, I'm just a dude who can stretch. But all the rest of them are
Dude.
like, everything bad you could ever think that has happened to a human has happened to someone on that crew, except for
Oh,
Zoro. Zoro's backstory is funny because it's like my childhood friend fell down the stairs.
God. What the
That's literally it.
fuck? My childhood friend fell down the stairs. Huh?
Well, yeah. Well, his whole
That's
thing
kind
was
of
like,
fire.
it was like his childhood friend, and she was better than him at swords or whatever, and he was like, she fought with like two swords, and he was like, well, I'm gonna fight with three swords, and that's how he got that stupid sword in his mouth, dumb shit.
Oh, is that what? Okay, that's the
Yeah,
reason
that's,
for that.
that's why he does it. Is because his best friend that was always better than him, she used two, so he was like, to get the edge up, I'm gonna have three.
I mean,
And then she fell down the stairs and died.
I
And
was gonna say
that's just,
he's already one upping her by being alive, right?
yeah,
So
he already won. The stairs.
he don't fall downstairs, so like he's got
Yeah,
two up on her, really.
he didn't trip down the stairs. So really, who's the loser now, idiot?
Yeah. Okay, I'm probably never gonna read One Piece to be honest with
Yeah,
you, but
I mean that's fair. That's fair. I'm doing my damnedest, and One Piece is fighting me hard along the way, man. It really is kicking and screaming for me to try to get through this, but we'll see.
we should
All
read
right,
Black Clover,
well,
bro.
I've read some of Black Clover. I've
Yeah, I
I,
read the
I
80
made it.
chapters.
I made it to the war with the elves,
I
and
don't
then I
think I
was
made it
like,
that
I'm
far. I
done.
don't remember. Yeah,
I'm done. I think.
I kind of had the same thing with World Trigger, where like I was like, okay, I'm gonna read some more, and that day never came.
Yeah, yeah, it was exactly like that because I never really got to the point. I never really loved Black Clover, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
just kind
no,
of like there, you know.
I always thought it was just okay.
Yeah,
I
it's just
never
like
like
okay, it's fine. You know, the
I
whole
never
all the
thought that
big
it.
meme of like Black Clover is fucking terrible. It's like, no, it's not. It's
No,
just
yeah, I
kind of
never
schlocky.
thought
Like it's fine.
I never thought it deserved the shit that it gets
Yeah, I
personally,
agree with that.
but
But
it
it just
is
never
not
really got me. You know,
it's
I'm
not
like
not the best.
I got there and I was like, I've had my fill. Like you can only eat junk food for so long, you know, and then you're like, I'm done
Mhm, mhm,
having it now. Like
mhm.
no more, no more, no more garbage for a bit. And then you go to have some more later, and you're like, I don't really like these chips anymore. I'm not gonna have them anymore. And then you just stop trying.
Oh, should we talk about live show and show?
Man, but I need like ADHD medicine or something. Yeah, we should. We should talk about Shonen and Chill Out. 1 week from today. Dude, there's no way that anyone's still listening to this. But if you are still listening to this, an hour and 33 minutes of our fucking insane rambling into this, we are going to be doing Shonen and Chill live, just like but our first inaugural one with Asaratha.
Hello.
We're gonna be doing it on your YouTube, correct? Not Twitch, YouTube
Yes.
channel.
No, my Twitch is only for the dark hours.
Okay. So over on his YouTube channel, I don't know if we have a time yet. We'll probably have to choose that sometime this week and blast it out on the socials, just so
Yeah.
people know when to show up, because it's a little bit more important when it's not pre-recorded that we have a
Yeah.
set time. Uh, and then we will see you guys over there. I think the plan is to have call-ins, just like last time, have like a little call-in segment at the end.
Yep.
Uh, so we'll do the usual show, just like normal. We'll just kind of talk like we're recording an episode of the show, and then at the end, we'll have a call-in section where people can kind of jump into like a waiting room, and we'll get people through, and you can talk to us about whatever you want to talk to us about. Preferably manga related. Try to keep it manga related. I don't
Do
really know if
not
I can't help you with your grades. I can't do your homework for you. I'm not very smart.
do not talk to me about Iron Mite.
That's gonna everyone is going to do that.
If you join and I hear the words Iron Mite come out of your mouth, you're getting kicked out the call, okay?
It's gonna be that meme where it's like I put the M&Ms in the popcorn, and he's like, I'm gonna go ahead and remove him from this call. But yeah, we're looking forward to it, or at least I am. I won't put words in your mouth. You might be fucking dreading it, but I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks, man.
Um,
Yeah, I'm actually pissed off. No, I'm just kidding.
fucking livid. I hate it here. And we will see you guys over there. Probably just ballpark time would be what, like afternoon Eastern U.S. time, like
Probably like Sunday at. If it's a Sunday, there's a solid chance I'm waking up at like 12 p.m. my time, which is like 3 p.m. your time. So
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I mean that's a Sunday, so
yeah. All
um,
right.
so yeah, we'll
We
we'll
could
aim
do
for like four my time,
something like that. We'll try.
something around. We'll something around there. We'll do our best.
Yeah. I mean, I used to try and stream at the same time every day, but then I stopped, and now I just go live whenever I wake up, and
Yeah,
people are just
you just
accept
do
it.
stream thing. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Well, ballpark we'll say four for right now, but keep an eye on the socials because that may change at any random point.
Yeah, there is a solid chance that I'm up till like 6 in the morning the night before playing Hearthstone, and so maybe I'll wake up at like 3 p.m. that day. We'll see.
We'll see what happens, but we'll see you guys there. And thank you all for tuning in.
Except for you.